Hey, yo, what's the deal? Miss your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I'm saying? As of this recording right now, it is 2:40 p.m. You know what I mean? May 15th, 2025. You know what I mean? I'm just chilling like a chameleon. You know what I mean? That's the second video of the day. You know what I mean? I know when because I'm stepping out later tonight. You know what I mean? I definitely will be dropping a video tonight for sure. You know what I mean? Probably with another What If series, you know. So according to WrestleVotes, and this is big. I'm gonna tell you why this is big. So according to WrestleVotes, they dropped a nice report this morning. I forgot to mention. So according to WrestleVotes, Nick Aldis is scheduled to face Randy Orton at SummerSlam, and that is the current plan that we have. And I'm gonna tell you why this is a big thing, okay? Because remember, Nick Aldis signed with WWE, but he didn't sign under a wrestling capacity. Remember, before that, he was with the NWA and such, but he was wrestling, and this before he signed with WWE, and it was only a matter of time that he gets back in that squared circle, right? Now I don't know if he was training. It's just he must have been fucking training. I mean, he must have been training because, if this is the current plan, then, clearly Aldis definitely has been training to get back in the ring. Because, again, he's been out the ring for 2 years. 2 fucking years, right? But I think this was WWE's way of really introducing the world, the WWE world to Nick Aldis. And Nick Aldis was a good wrestler. A lot of people seem to forget that, he was a real good wrestler, right? People dreamed that, when he signed with WWE, he would get back in that ring. But the role that he played as SmackDown GM was not bad. You know what I mean? Like, he hands down might be what, he clearly is, he is to me, he is what Eric Bischoff was, to WWE in terms of GMs, right? Eric Bischoff was a great Raw GM. He fit perfectly. It was the perfect time too. Cause remember, this is during when WCW got brought out by WWE, and WWE wound up adding a lot of WCW shit into their DNA. And Eric Bischoff was perfect. Now, I mean, he was legitimately perfect. Some people might say that Teddy Long might have been a great GM for SmackDown, but I think Nick Aldis surpassed that. Adam Pearce is not bad too, but I think Nick Aldis, clearly surpassed that. But, this was not going to be a long-term thing. It was only a matter of time that Nick Aldis gets right back in that ring. And who knows, like I said, he might have been training. And I think he was training. I clearly think he was training and such, because, again, he has to get the WWE feel of things and such, right? And mind you, this match was supposed to happen last year, right? But a lot of shit happened. People got injured. Punk got injured. So it kind of fucked up plans last year, right? This year, of course, we didn't get it to SummerSlam, but I think, and it makes sense to, it was supposed to be against Randy Orton last year, right? But again, it makes a lot of sense to, to plug Nick Aldis against Randy Orton strictly because of what we see storyline-wise. Randy Orton is just fucking with Nick Aldis. He's giving him RKOs. And mind you, Nick Aldis is taking bumps. He's taking bumps. And again, I think that's a great way for WWE to introduce people, into the fire, especially the WWE universe, is to have them as a GM first, right? Let them get acclimated with shit. You know what I mean? Let them soak in stuff. And then, bam. You know what I mean? Then, you can bring him in. Because, again, Nick Aldis. And so which tells me that I think WWE is, if he's going to get back in the ring, that means that, there's got to be a brand new SmackDown GM. There's got to be a brand new SmackDown GM. And I don't know who's that going to be. I mean, I have no clue. But the fact that Nick Aldis is getting back in the ring, I think that's fucking great. I think it's terrific. It's terrific because again, he belongs back in that squared circle. Remember that great match that he had with Cody at All In 2018 for the NWA Championship? You know what I mean? Again, Nick Aldis was fucking great. He was fucking excellent, right? So having him there, you know, again, it makes a lot of fucking sense. It makes too much sense to have him there. Too much. You know, and I think with Nick Aldis back in the ring, again, it gives WWE another player on the roster to use. You know, and who's the best opponent for Nick Aldis other than Randy Orton? You know what I mean? If that match happens, right, that means Randy Orton would be facing two TNA champions. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Nick Aldis was a TNA World Champion. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was a TNA World Champion. You know, I strongly believe that. You know, yes, he was. He was a TNA World Champion. You know, because it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen Magnus in the ring. You know what I mean? But again, Magnus I think is great. You know, Nick Aldis is fucking great. And I think with him coming back into the ring, it lets the WWE universe know, who that motherfucker is in the ring. Clearly. You know what I'm saying? Randy Orton, I think, is the perfect dance partner. And then who knows what else will happen? Right? Who knows? Who fucking knows? Maybe he might go after the United States Championship. I could see him as a U.S. champion. You know what I mean? I can see a lot of stuff happening. But that's the rumor right now, according to WrestleVotes. And I believe WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes is very, very spot on with shit. They are clearly spot on. Clearly. Yeah, spot on with their stuff. Know what I mean? But let me know what you guys think. I definitely will be coming with another video tonight. Know what I mean? So I'm going to holler at y'all. All right? Peace.